I think this song is sadder than All Too Well. Last Kiss supremacy, am I right? Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's Nena. Well, maybe I shouldn't say good morning because I don't know what time you guys are watching this, but it's morning for me. I got an early start this morning and I even went to Starbucks, so I don't have my homemade chai today, but I have an iced mocha. So we don't have tea, but we're definitely going to be spilling it today because we are doing another lyric breakdown. I'm very excited about it. If you're new to my channel, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Nena. I usually teach guitar tutorials, but today I was in the mood to do another lyric breakdown. I've done 2 other ones, so if you want to check those out, I'll start a playlist, get that going. But today we're breaking down arguably Taylor Swift's saddest song. I think it's Taylor Swift's saddest song ever. It's probably in my top 3 favorite Taylor Swift songs of all time. Lyrically, musically, emotionally. But I will say this is a song I do not listen to often because it literally, like, anytime I want to cry, I just listen to this song and mission accomplished. But by the title, you know we're talking about Last Kiss. This song has so many layers. So I guess we're just gonna jump straight into it. So this song is track 13 on Speak Now, which is interesting that she put it as track 13. To me, it kind of makes sense that it's like towards the end because, okay, if you haven't heard of this theory before, basically I saw this thing once where it's like on every single Taylor Swift album, there's kind of a song that fits more with the previous album, like references that era, and then there's always a song that kind of references the future era, gives us kind of like an Easter egg of what the future era is going to be. And I believe with Last Kiss, she definitely is alluding to Red and the emotional complexity of it. I think you could have put this song on Red and it would fit in just perfectly with all of those sad bops. Before we get into it line by line, I just want to talk about kind of the background of this song, and also this song is like the middle of the trilogy of Joe Jonas songs, if you didn't know. And I usually like to take the artist and their experience out of it so we can really get like the lyrics and not have people in mind. But I think this like trilogy of songs is so important to like the meaning of the song. But basically, we all knew Taylor Swift wrote Forever and Always about Joe Jonas because she said so on the Ellen show. When Fearless came out, she said this song is about that guy. When Speak Now came out, the secret message of Last Kiss is Forever and Always. So you know that it's about him. And it's just like Forever and Always was like angry sad. Just being so like pissed off at this person for like screwing you over, all of that, you know, you guys have heard the song. And then Last Kiss is the stage of, you know, grief where it's just sadness. It's just like yearning for previous times, very nostalgic. It has very specific callback moments, and it's basically just she's sitting in the corner of her room crying and like she's angry, but this is just sad. Just a sad song. And then moving on, the 3rd song in this little trilogy is Holy Ground on Red, and that's like acceptance. We've moved on and we can appreciate it for what it was. But Last Kiss is very just like the nitty-gritty like sadness. And so if you guys didn't know that, now you do. But how we know Holy Ground is about him is because he came to one of Taylor Swift's shows on the Speak Now tour. When she was singing Last Kiss, he was literally right there. There's a video. I'm gonna see if I can like download it and somehow put it on this video. But that's the moment that Holy Ground was born, because there's the secret message of Holy Ground is when you came to my show in SD. So he came to her show in San Diego. And you know, there's a lyric in Holy Ground that says, I see your face in every crowd, and that's just like brings it full circle here. Okay, so now that we got the background of this song out of the way, we're gonna get started going through the lyrics. Now, I was an English major. I do have an English degree, and so I really appreciate lyrics, and I love just like thinking of like the deeper meanings and the parallels, and just like Taylor Swift is so clever with her writing. But basically, Last Kiss is like a story song. It's very similar to All Too Well, and it basically just tells the story from beginning to end. Starting out, this song has a really long intro. It's 27 seconds, which, if you didn't know, happens to be the length of the phone call it took Joe Jonas to break up with Taylor Swift. Her mind. I don't know. It's just wild. That's just a side note. She just thinks of everything. So starting out strong with verse 1, I still remember the look on your face lit through the darkness at 1:58. So, you know, it's funny because this was like the birth of Last Kiss Day in the fandom, where on July 9th at 1:58 a.m. we'd all like stay up and like post about it and listen to it and cry together. I don't know. Who came up with that? I don't know. Why couldn't we do 1:58 in the afternoon? I don't know, because Swifties just have to do it at night. Whatever, 2 a.m. That's a Taylor Swift thing. Like, it's always in the middle of the night that stuff happens. Taylor Swift is really good at setting the scene right at the get-go, just putting you straight into the story. And so this is like a very vivid memory lit through the darkness at 1:58, the words that you whispered for just us to know. It just is like a very intimate moment with them. They're in a dark room. He's telling her he loves her. And then we get this last line, you told me you loved me, so why did you go away? And then it goes, away. Oh, love that part. So it's all good. It's all good. It's like a nice memory. And then she's like, why did you go away? Bringing in that doubt. And now you know the song is gonna be like sad. And throughout the song, there's a lot of vivid memories brought up, and it's like yearning to go back in the past. It's like nostalgic for the good times, even though you know it hurts you to remember and think about it. It's like you want to keep thinking about it and you want to keep remembering those good things. She's almost like torturing herself thinking about these things. It's like sitting in your hurt and the memories that were so good, even though it ended really badly and you hate this person, you want to go back to those moments where it wasn't bad. And so that's kind of how I feel like she goes through each of these verses. Like, she pulls back a really good moment and then she's like, that was so good, why did you want it to end? So that's kind of how we leave off on this first verse. Why did you go away? And she repeats herself. Taylor Swift is really good at emphasizing certain lines by repeating them, and so when you get that second away, you can feel like the desperate in her voice. Okay, moving on. She doesn't go straight into the chorus. She goes into a second verse, and this is usually what happens in her sad songs, because this also happens in All Too Well, where she does another verse before she gets to the chorus, and it's like makes the build up even more emotional. It's like a slow burn for sure. Verse 2. This is so, she really pulls on your sensory brain, if that makes sense. Like, she can put you straight into the scene with all of these sensory details. Taylor Swift is so good at adding these little sensory details that are so specific, and that you can see in the first line, I do recall now the smell of the rain. I think everybody knows what that smell is, immediately puts you in that mindset, and it's such a weird feeling when you're outside and it smells like rain, like that. You guys know what I mean though. The smell of everything just after it rains is such a nostalgic, pulls you back to a certain moment. Let's say, this specific time happened like, months ago in the past. Let's say she walks outside and she smells the rain. It pulls her back to this specific moment. Memories can be super connected to our senses, especially smell. So let's keep going here. I do recall now the smell of the rain fresh on the pavement. I ran off the plane. That July 9th. She loves throwing in very specific details in her songs. We know this. So it's like a summer rain, so to speak, because it's July, and because I know the context around this verse, it's basically Taylor Swift flew to Hawaii to see Joe Jonas in his concert, in the Jonas Brothers concert, and so it was like a, summer rain in Hawaii. She ran off the plane to, go see him. Anyways, the beat of your heart, it jumps through your shirt, I can still feel your arms. Every single line of this verse is packed with sensory details, like feeling the beat of his heart through his shirt and like feeling his arms around her. It's like, just listening to this, you can like totally place yourself in that situation, and I think that's why this song is so sad, because I feel like a lot of people listen to this and they have similar experiences. It really just puts you back in that nostalgic, like torturing yourself, remembering everything. And I think that's why All Too Well hits similarly to this one, is because it's very specific in feeling and just telling the story. I will say though, I think this song is sadder than All Too Well, because I feel like with All Too Well, there's anger, sadness. There's a lot of emotions in All Too Well, and it's like betrayal, and it's a lot. But this one is just straight up depressing. It's just sad. The fact of the matter is, this love wasn't as tumultuous as All Too Well depicts, and so when it's just love that didn't work and it's just sad, that I think that's so much sadder because she's bringing back all these good memories, and I feel like in All Too Well, like, it wasn't as good along the way because she was looking back and remembering these little things that maybe weren't as good as she thought. That's enough about All Too Well because I just love to like compare and contrast all of Taylor Swift's different songs, especially if they fall into the same category of like mood or feeling. Y'all know I could talk about All Too Well forever. Okay, moving on, we go into this chorus and it's like the saddest freaking thing ever. But now I'll go sit on the floor wearing your clothes. That is something I feel like so many people can relate to because let's say, you know, your boyfriend or whoever gave you their sweatshirt or, you know, having something of someone else's. She probably had like his sweatshirt and she just put it on and like cried in the corner of her room because it probably smelled like him. People are very tied to smells for memories, but this is just so sad. I'll sit on the floor wearing your clothes. All that I know is I don't know how to be something you miss. Now that is Taylor Swift is good with contradiction. She, like, two things that shouldn't make sense, but it does, you know? All that I know for certain is that I don't know how to make you miss me, is basically what she's saying. She doesn't know how to be something you miss because obviously she's missing him, but she doesn't feel like he's missing her back, and there's no way for you to make somebody feel that for you. There's no way to force someone to reciprocate that. It's just such a helpless thing. You can just feel like all she can do is just sit on the floor and like cry about it. And then we have the last bit here. I never thought we'd have a last kiss. Never imagined we'd end like this. That is a very naive line, you know? And I feel like Speak Now is filled with these little like very dramatic hyperboles and exaggerated feelings. And not for the fact that it's not real, because I'm sure when you're like 16 or 17 or 18, whatever, you think this is true to you. I never thought that we would ever break up. It is such a young perspective on love, and I'm sure she meant it at the time. Like, I never believed. I thought this was love. Obviously it's not, because Joe Jonas is married with a kid and Taylor Swift is probably gonna get married to Joe eventually, or maybe they're already married, we don't know. But I won't believe that until I hear it from Taylor herself. Anyways, back to the song. But this line makes more sense to me. Never imagined we'd end like this. So she probably didn't expect this relationship to end the way that it did. And I think that's like the whole song, like last kiss. You truly don't really know when it's going to be your last. She didn't know. And I think that's like the main theme for this whole song, like last kiss, unexpected. That's like the biggest thing here. It's not that like she truly believed they'd be together forever, but I don't think she expected it to end the way that it did. She keeps saying like, I never thought this would be our last kiss. You know what I mean? It just like ended abruptly. And then we have the last line, your name forever, the name on my lips. So that's a lot. Forever is a big word. Okay, this is kind of funny though, because his name was Joe and now she's with Joe. So maybe it truly is the name forever, the name on her lips. Anyways. Okay, moving on to verse 3. This is my favorite verse of the entire song. This is literally my favorite part of the whole song. I do remember the swing of your step, the life of the party you're showing off again. So it just puts him in this light where he was very extroverted, very outgoing and fun, and kind of pushed her to be more outgoing as well, because then this next part, and I roll my eyes and then you pull me in. I'm not much for dancing, but for you I did. You know, I feel like there's always something to be said when someone either is not good at something, doesn't really like something, but because they love this person so much, they will compromise and like it's not like you're changing yourself for somebody, but it's kind of like because you feel so strongly about them, you want to do the things that make them happy, or they're, you want to try for them. So basically what I'm getting at here is that she was willing to meet him halfway, and it didn't seem like he was willing to meet her halfway on, the things that she wanted to do and stuff like that. And then, oh man, this part of the verse, it says, because I love your handshake meeting my father. I love how you walk with your hands in your pockets. Now that's something that maybe he didn't notice that she picked up on. So it's like the little things. She's like, I noticed everything about you, and that's why I tried harder to be close to you. And then we have this line. This line is so good. How you'd kiss me when I was in the middle of saying something. There's not a day I don't miss those rude interruptions. And obviously that's like sarcastic, like kind of playfully joking about it, but at the time she probably found it a little annoying that he'd interrupt her, while she was talking, but now she's like, damn, I should have appreciated that. Throughout this song, it seems as though she'd give anything for this back. She's going through like all the phases of grief in this song for sure. Basically, she's kind of like in denial. Like, first of all, why did you go away? And then the second is like the remembering of everything. And it's very like, focused on remembering specific moments. And then we go and she's crying on the floor and she's just sad, super, super sad and depressed about it. And then she's thinking about all these things that she liked about him and why she like compromised for him and all this stuff. And then we get into the bridge, and this kind of leads us into like sad but hopeful in a way. This bridge is like one of Taylor Swift's best bridges ever. I think I ranked this number 1 in my top 10 bridges of Taylor Swift because it's just beautiful, lyrically so beautiful. Just this first line, like, oh my god. So I'll watch your life in pictures like I used to watch you sleep. I think that is the perfect articulation of like once in your life being so close to someone and now they're a stranger and you're like watching their life from the outside. And that can be said about so many relationships. That can be said about your best friend that you don't talk to anymore. Maybe that's like, family member you don't talk to anymore. It doesn't have to just be like someone you dated, but it's kind of just that line is like, damn, like I used to know you in such an intimate way and now I feel like I'm like a spectator in the audience of your life. And then we got, and I feel you forget me like I used to feel you breathe. Same thing. It's like the more time that passes, the more I feel like distanced from what we had. And I keep up with our old friends just to ask them how you are. Hope it's nice where you are. This is like, oh man. It's like you're always kind of like checking in on them, whether it's, if you have mutual friends, apparently, because Taylor Swift did. It's like she's reached this point where she like had so much love and care for this person that she hopes that they're in a better place, it feels very genuine. Sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I totally like wish you the best, like, and that's not always like super genuine. I think this is super genuine in this bridge. And the thought of Joe Jonas like standing there listening to this is just so full circle and like, wow. It's kind of like if you are not friends with somebody, but you kind of like check up on their Instagram just to see like how their life is going. I definitely do that with people that used to be my life that aren't anymore. You hope that, even though they only were in your life for a season or whatever, if it ended badly, if it didn't end that badly, you just grew apart, like it's good to know that they're living their life. I literally keep saying that this is like the best line of the song, but like this part. And I hope the sun shines and it's a beautiful day and something reminds you wish you had stayed. This makes me think like I hope your life is going well and everything. I hope it's well. I hope you're having a beautiful day, but I hope sometimes you're reminded of these good moments just like I am, I hope you also miss certain aspects of what we had and that it's not just me. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, like you can't go back, redo anything, but it's like, I hope sometimes you want to, even though it's not meant to be. You can plan for a change in the weather and time, but I never planned on you changing your mind. This line always leaves me like absolutely speechless. It's so clever. It is literally so clever. There's things you can plan for. And like, if I had known that this was gonna end this way, I would have, I would have like planned, I would have been more prepared mentally for this to not go the way that I thought it was going. Like, seems like he just out of nowhere blindsided her, and she still kind of holds on to that a little bit in this song. Man, I really wished I would have seen this coming. And there's one thing that I hope she does when she puts out Last Kiss Taylor's version, and that is the little breath at 4 minutes and 26 seconds right here where it says, I hope the sun shines and it's a beautiful day. Right after that line, she like does this little like breath, and you can hear the emotion and how she's like crying through this song, where it's like, I hope the sun shines and it's a beautiful day. Like that, when you're crying and you like can't get a good breath, like, man, that emotion. And then we just have like our last chorus here. The way she ends this song is very symbolic of the whole unexpected, abrupt thing, because she repeats this thing at the end here, forever the name on my lips. And then the very last line of this song says, just like our last. And you're expecting her to say kiss, right? Just like our last kiss. No, just like our last. And it ends, and you're kind of waiting for her to say kiss. And that kind of feels like the whole situation is she's like, it ended so abruptly. It just totally captures like the meaning of this song, where it's just like, it just ends and you're waiting for more, So anyways, that's all that I got for you guys today. I really enjoy going through these lyrics and really like doing some close reading on here and sharing with you guys what I think everything means, and kind of just articulating what I think the emotions are that Taylor was trying to get across, or just like the overall meaning of the song to me. Just, this song is the best song to just listen to if you're like up in the middle of the night, or like you can't go to sleep. I just put in my earphones and I just like listen to this song, and it's so calming, even though it's really sad and like definitely like makes me cry. It's one of my favorite songs to just listen to if I'm like restless at night. I always believe there's like a specific environment that I like to listen to certain songs, so that's just me. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you guys want me to do more lyric breakdowns, and comment down below which songs you guys want me to talk about next. I absolutely love talking about lyrics. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you can do that if you want to, and turn on those post notifications so you know when I post another video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! But we are breaking down arguably, is that the word? I never thought we'd have a last. I know a ton of you are now gonna ask me to teach this song on guitar. I will eventually, guys. I'm kind of waiting for Taylor's version, because this is my favorite song from Speak Now, hands down, which is a big thing to say. Last Kiss supremacy, am I right?